Ramadan is the 9th lunar month of the Islamic calendar. It's a religious obligation for all able adult Muslims, ordained to teach self-restraint on top of all the other spiritual and moral benefits. During fasting, Muslims are required to refrain from food, drinks, caffeine, nicotine, and intimate relations from sunrise to sunset. This can lead to several behavioral, lifestyle, and physiological changes, such as changes in stress levels and hormonal levels.
I think Ramadan fasting is certainly a great opportunity for a lot of good change. In addition to the behavioral and lifestyle changes, we have a major physiological changes, body changes that are happening to adapt to the fasting situation. We see during Ramadan that there is reduction in the bad cholesterol, which we believe that it is one major component of the process of build up inside the arteries, leading to heart attacks and strokes as well. We see that there is reduction in blood pressure, which in turn reduce the cardiovascular risk. We also see reduction in the incidence of diabetes, or at least a trend on reduction in the incidence of diabetes, and which also play as part in reducing the overall cardiovascular risk.
Studies indicate that 50 to 60% of individuals who fast maintain their body weight during the month, while 20 to 25% either gain or lose weight. According to experts, this is due to several factors, some of which include significant changes in fat mass and fat-free mass, which occur during fasting and is a consequence of the imbalance between energy intake and energy consumption, associated with an increasingly inactive lifestyle.
Most important is to avoid overindulging, specifically continuous eating from iftar till sahur. It's very important to divide those meals into one iftar, one sahur, a small snack in between, or a dinner if the iftar was little. And very important as well to be able to maintain a healthy sleeping hours as well, at least 6 hours, because this will provide you with a better energy during the day.
Fasting has different impacts on different individuals. These variations highly depend on daily nutritional habits, the season that Ramadan occurs in, as well as a cultural background. There are, however, certain guidelines that should be followed in order to benefit from the fast both on a spiritual and wellness level.
There are definitely religious traditions during Ramadan that you cannot bypass. So it's very important, I think, to break the fast with dates, fruits, and some soup or yogurt even. And we can have either a light iftar and like 2 hours later a good dinner, our normal, usual dinner, which will include half of the plate vegetables and a bit less than the quarter fruits, a quarter of proteins and a quarter of whole grains, some complex carbohydrates, and a cup of dairy, whether it's yogurt or cheeses. This is the usual healthy nutritional plate that is now advisable. Why? Because it gives all the macronutrients for the body without overloading it with extra sugars that we don't need, and they would be accumulated as fat and eventually lead to obesity and or uncontrolled diabetes in diabetic patients.
The way we benefit from these changes is if we do follow the common sense, if we apply the expected positive changes during Ramadan. For example, I think one important issue is you're fasting for 15 hours, your body starts to make the changes which will probably benefit your body in the long term. And then when you break your fast, you do completely the opposite and you turn your iftar and your sahur in a phenomenal feast, if you like. So that's not the way to do it.
On top of the list is the common practice of ingesting large amounts of foods rich in carbohydrates at the sunset meal. which should be completely avoided, as emphasized in the Islamic faith as well as by medical experts.
Some issues about water intake, because Ramadan during the fasting hours we cannot drink water as well. So very important during the non-fasting hours to have not only water, which is the healthiest drink as well, to avoid juices, but also to include food items that do give us some water long lasting, specifically like yogurt, for example. It's very healthy because it gives us proteins, it's fulfilling and a lot of fluids, and some vegetables with more water than others like cucumbers, zucchinis. Those are very much advisable during Ramadan. Very important also to have the suhoor as late as possible, right before dawn, because this meal will give you enough energy for the whole day, and fluids as well if we eat it properly, including some complex carbohydrates like whole wheat, whole grains, some proteins, whether from eggs or from dairy food, together with vegetables containing or providing fluids, and a bit of water as well, and that can give us enough energy to carry through at least more than half of the day.
The holy month is a great time to inculcate discipline, purify thoughts, spread compassion, and foster bonding with people. And there are ample opportunities in the UAE for residents to reinvent themselves during these 30 days.